All right, January 1st of 2025. Haven't posted anything on the Uncle Rock's Garage channel in a while. It's been kind of slow. The Dodge has been kind of packed away for the winter, getting ready for next year. It's all set for the parade. Not much left to do with it, but so I got a project today. I am putting a hidden winch on my 05 Chevy Silverado. So a little bit of a review. Not going to do a how-to because I'm not that good at editing, but I'll tell you what I got. Harbor Freight last week. Anybody knows, heard this company called Harbor Freight? They had some crazy sales last week, and I was able to get this. I think it was 40% off all the winches. So it's kind of slim pickings, but I really don't need a 12,000 pound winch on this truck, let alone trying to manhandle it up in the hidden winch position there. I go out off-roading quite a bit, trails, fire trails up in Nevada, Arizona. Not really off-roading, but if I ever got high center or stuck and I'm by myself, it would be nice to have a winch. And I thought, what the heck? For the new year, I'll get me the Rough Country Hidden Winch mount. I got it on Amazon. It's right around $200. Just side note, they ship United States Postal Service, which it took 3 days for them to find my house. They said they couldn't find my house, and then when they did, they set it out there in the dirt. It was a pretty big box, but you know, hats off to UPS, FedEx, DHL, or whatever it is, and the Amazon guys. They always seem to find my house, and no matter how big or small the package they get on the front porch, or close to it, which I'm cool with. Not the post office. But so I got the Badlands 9500, and it came with a steel cable. Come on, it's 2025, we don't run steel cables. So I pulled it off. I got a synthetic rope, which is 85 foot long, 3/8 synthetic. It's on here kind of loose right now. I just basically rolled it on there with a set of jumper cables and off my truck. Once I get it mounted, I will hook it to something and pull it tight because it is kind of bulky right now. All right, this winch came with a hand controller, and let me show you here a second. Let me pause for a moment. Okay, we're back. So the winch mounts kind of that away, not that away, as you can see that away. So way up underneath is your free spool, which I guess you can lay there in the truck and put on free spool, but also here's the plug for the cable for the handheld controller that comes with it. Also 5-pin. Most all your others are 3, so it kind of makes it difficult. So being as this was kind of hidden away, I ran to Harbor Freight last night, got there right before closing on New Year's Eve, and I got this remote that plugs into it, and it also has a this is battery operated, but you can plug it in directly if you need to. So it's kind of a cool double whammy there. Now the problem here is, you know, plugging this in, where's that? Okay, and leaving it up underneath there, I think you have to, I haven't tested it out yet, but I think you actually have to push the button to get it turned off and on. That's going to be kind of difficult. So what I am doing, because I just don't like that, is I took the cable that came with it. I want to plug the cable that came in with it. I cut the end off, and I bought a 5-prong plug because the Rough Country comes with an extension. They got this little bracket you can mount up underneath the hood of your truck, and it comes with this extension, but it's a 3-prong. So it won't work with that, won't work with that, won't work with that. So what I basically did is I bought a piece just like this, but it has 5 prongs. I've already figured out the 3 wires, so when I get it, I will mount this under the hood. I'll obviously shorten this cable down the length. I'll put that there, so when the time comes, you open your hood, you got a battery disconnect you got to turn on to give power to the winch, and then I can just take and plug this right in underneath the hood of my truck, where it's nice and safe, out of the weather, not going to fall, disappear, and when I'm done I can take it right off. Or I can plug in this cable and just use the use it without the remote, but it'll be more accessible and it'll be easier to get to, since I mean this is mounted on your bumper, it wouldn't be a problem, but being it's underneath, I want to kind of protect it. So right now I'm gonna Loctite the bolts on. I also got the Badlands Fairlead. The ones on Amazon are quite a bit cheaper, but they're way thinner. So basically I got to cut the valance here. I had a tow bar on the front, so I just got that taken off. So they got some directions on where to exactly cut. I'm going to do that next. And then you use 2 existing holes that are already there to bolt here and here. You get it snugged up tight, and then you got to drill 2 more holes. And everybody loves drilling upside down. So, but once that's done, they got to run the power up to the battery-ish area. Don't know if I'll get all that done today, but that's the plan, is to get the Rough Country winch with the Harbor Freight Badlands 9500 winch installed. So yeah, that's my plan. And I'm still working on something else in here. I'll show you in a minute. But working on this, today's project for the New Year's. All right, Semper Fi. All right, well, mistakes were made. I installed the winch upside down on the bracket, putting the wires on the bottom. Didn't think about it when it was sitting on my tailgate, so now I gotta take it out and flip it around, because you don't want these hanging down low. Oh, what a pain. But second time should be easier. Do it right, do it twice. All right, we're gonna wrap up the hidden winch on the 2005 Chevy Silverado for the day. Mainly because I ran out of time. It's a little chilly out. But let me see, let me show what I got. The template that came with it wasn't the greatest for cutting this out. I had to keep cutting a little bit more. So not too thrilled with the way that came out, and I just didn't want to hack the whole thing. I was trying to make it fit best as possible. But and you can't see the Badlands up here, which is fine. You know, that's just our little secret, I guess. But yeah, I wish I was able to get that a little tighter in here, but you just can't. It's really kind of a dance to get this thing up inside and then mounted without damaging anything. And this little cutout right here is, I had a trailer hitch that came out in the front that I could put a winch into, or actually I used it as a step too. But let's crawl under here and show you where we're at. Oh boy. So I got it turned around. Now the wires are up top like they're supposed to be, instead of being down here. Now my only other concern is the winch going to wind the right way? I didn't think about that when I put the cable on. So if not, we'll just have to work with it. All right, one thing, that shroud right there that bolted under, no longer bolted. It bolted from there to there up to the frame. But what I did while I had this out was I drilled 4 holes, 3/8 holes across the bottom here. So when I get this all done, I'll use the holes that are already existing here, and I will make a plate that will come across. And I'm also thinking about maybe even getting a smaller receiver, using these 2 holes here and then coming up here and bolting on a you know, like one of those, like 1 inch or 1.5 inch, one of the smaller receivers. It's just nice to have something up front, also a tow point. It does have the tow hooks. I guess those are good enough, but maybe I won't do anything, just leave them alone. But I think I will. I definitely do want to put a shield across there just to protect everything and whatnot there. So that's where it's at. It's really nice up in there. It's just like if you got a way bigger winch, it'd definitely be harder to get this to clear, because this 9500, I was able to get that up there, and then you got the front of the winch here, which comes all the way through, sticks way out. So it's kind of a dance getting it in. And to make that easier, I used a floor jack, but many years ago, pulling transfer cases and doing all kinds of other stuff, I made this little swivel piece here. It's got a bolt on the bottom, and I was able to set the whole thing on here, wrapped a couple cam straps around it to give me some extra hands, and it just held it in place and slid it right up. That made a real difference. I guess if you had like a motorcycle jack, that might help, but I think that would kind of get motorcycle jack might be too long, and you can't really get it up higher unless you put it on like some 4x4s or something. One of those scissor lifts that they have for transmissions at Harbor Freight would probably work really good. But so now I got, that's another thing, the kit comes with the bolts, but the truck does not come with these two holes right there and there. So that's oh god, what is that, 30 seconds or 30 seconds 15, I don't know what it is. I had to order a drill bit. I searched through all my drill bits thinking I got hundreds of drill bits. No, it's a different size drill bit than that I have. So I thought maybe I had one, but I didn't. So I'm going to follow the instructions on that. And then it comes with hardware that goes inside the nuts on a piece of metal, a little bracket to hold it. So I got the drill bit coming on Friday. I also have the other piece I need to make up the cable extension for the plug. So I'll do that. I will hook up everything. And then I got a coolant leak I got to worry about there. Just put all new water pump, radiator, everything in this, and I followed the instructions this time, and I wound up with a little leak. So, all right, we're wrapping up. This is part 3 of the hidden winch install on the Chevy Silverado Z71. So, I'll have one more video hooking everything up, and that'll be it. So, have a wonderful New Year, and Semper Fi. All right, this is Saturday, what is it, July 4th? Haven't had a chance to do much this week on the winch install on the Silverado. Got a few, still waiting on one part, but let me show what we're doing today. Some nice weather, but last week I got the winch put in, almost all bolted up. We'll crawl in there and show you where we're at in a second. Well, let's get to the top here. Watch out for my safety goggles. All right, oh, I got the sun shining the wrong direction. All right, so I took the power off the block. The 05 Silverados have a distribution block here, so I came up to the switch that was supplied with the Badland winch. Cable comes down. I routed it right between the frame and the power steering pump, or the power steering box. Nothing's going to hit. The ground cable came up, and I attached the ground to the block here. Pretty simple, straightforward. And then I ran the cable. This is the one that came with the Badlands winch. I actually had to cut the end off because we got we're going to do a little switch up here. The Rough Country came with an extension, but it's a 3-plug extension. And the Badlands winch, which I bought this remote control because it's a hidden winch, you know, it's hard to plug it in and plug it out. So I bought this controller, and you can see it's a 5-pin. Now theoretically, just plug this into the winch and you got wireless remote, but you know, if I'm stuck in a trench or something or in the mud, I'm not going to be able to get to it because it is a hidden winch. So I used the cable, and I came up inside the engine compartment, and I used the bracket that came with the Rough Country, and I had ordered another plug that looks just like this on Amazon, but it's a pigtail and it's a 5-pin, which will fit with this, and it will bolt right here. So when I do need to use the winch, you obviously have to open the hood to turn the power on. I just reach in my fancy little box here, and I plug in the remote, hit the button. Also, this remote has a cable. If you want to use a cable with the remote, you don't want to use the remote. So that was a cool, and it's all nice in a nice little weatherproof box. But so as of right now, I got the cables way longer than I need. I'll cut it. I'll when I get the plug, I'll make it up all nice and neat, and basically it will just be, you know, sitting here something similar to that. And I got that, I'll reuse this rubber cap here. And that's about it on the top side. So I'm just about done there. So I got a little bit more to do but down below. So let's jump down below, or kneel. All right, here we are underneath the winch of the truck. And it fits real nice up underneath here. But what I got left is I got to drill 4, what are these, 15, 30 seconds or something like that. I don't know what the drill bit is. It's decent size. So what I've done already, where are we at here? I took and I drilled a couple pilot hole, you know, just the center of the bolts. I used the full-size drill bit. I centered the bolt holes on all 4, and then I got one of these ultra sharp, these little tiny drill bits. These things are great for getting a pilot hole started. Brand new, super, I think it's Milwaukee. But I'll get the pilot hole started, and then I'll use a 1/4 inch, and I'll go up to the full size. And in the kit, I'll show you these, the kit's got these captured nuts that you put up inside there to bolt it in. All right, so here's some of the wiring. It's all zip tied up nice and tight. The cable for the controller, you can see it's way down here. Here's the free spool. That's going to be really hard to get to if you are screwed. But that's the good thing about the wireless remote, is you can spool out, and having the rope versus the cable. So all right, so I'm just filling my eye. We'll get that later. But I got the controller zip tied on here. It's all the controller cable. It's not going to go anywhere. Everything's clear. Nothing's touching. I do have a piece of aluminum here. I'm going to, where the holes are from the original shroud that was here, I'm just going to come straight out, and I drilled a couple holes across the bottom here. I'm going to get some what do they call it, zert nuts, and put inside there, so I can basically just keep this from getting muddy and dirty and everything. So that's about it. Pretty straightforward. Instructions are pretty good. The only thing I don't like was the template for cutting out the winch here. It just wasn't, this piece sticks out further, and I don't know, it's just, whoop, get back here a little bit. It just doesn't look too clean. So eventually I think I might get another plastic balance in the junkyard and do it better. But the wrong button. But that's the plan for now. So I'm going to wrap this up for today. Just finished drilling holes, which is not too exciting. And then Monday I'll have the other piece put in, and then I'll do just a little video to show everything all done. But it's a pretty nifty little setup for 05 Chevy Silverado. All right, got to jump back in for a little oopsie here. These little blind bolts or nuts, whatever, that go up inside the frame, they're welded onto these brackets. A couple of them, as you can see, let's see if I can get it to focus. You see I threaded the bolt backwards, so I couldn't get it threaded forward, and you can see it is not centered. The weld wasn't centered, so a little quality control there. But I got my handy dandy Ryobi Dremel tool, and you just take and be very careful not to butcher the threads, Dremel it out, and then screw the bolt in from the back side. That will clean it all out and make sure it threads smoothly before you get back underneath your car. But I was underneath there trying to get these things threaded, and none of them would thread, and that's the reason why. But it's a quick fix, you know. Any good shop should have their Ryobi Dremel, or a bigger Dremel, but that's a little too much. We'll just use a little one so we don't butcher the threads. All right, this is the last part of the hidden winch install. I had to wait on some parts to get the wiring done, and it's July 8th. It is windy as can be. I don't know when you're gonna watch this video, but we had some massive fires up in LA, man. Thousands of homes burnt down, and it's just sad. It's still going. Got a couple fires. So all of our work canceled today, and it's a little breezy right now here in Corona. but I wanted to get this done for the weekend. So let me show you where we're at. We're gonna flip it around. All right, this is the piece that comes with the winch mount. It's a remote location, but I had to change it because the one that came with it was a 3-pin, and the Harbor Freight is a 5-pin. Even though you only use 3 wires, it's still a 5-pin. So I got this on Amazon. It was like 40 bucks, kind of pricey. I still got to drill one hole to make this fit and find a bolt for it. On the Chevy Silverado, you have your battery connection right here. I hooked the wire into that. Got the this came with the Badland winch. It's power shut off, so I got that wired up. Wires went down between the frame and the power steering box. Brought the ground up, bolted the ground right to where the ground is on the engine block. Seems to work really good. So let me show you what I got. Because this is a hidden winch, you can't get to it to plug anything in, and I wanted to use this remote control. So this remote control comes with this little device that actually plugs into the winch. But how do I get to it? Can't get to it. Oh, I went and got the Harbor Freight, the different hook there than the one that came with the winch. I think it looks a lot better than having a cable hooked over here. But crawling underneath, if you're stuck, you're going to be like, oh, you're not going to be able to get underneath there to get to this. So you pop your hood open, turn the power on, and then you put this, you plug it right into here. Now with this here, you have a wired connection, or you have remote. I think this was around 70 bucks or so at Harbor Freight. But it works for, what the hell, if you're gonna do it right, right? All right, so the controller has a battery already in it. It's a waterproof container. It's got a magnet, so it can sit somewhere so you don't lose it. All right, so here you go. You either have wired or you have wireless. You hold the wireless for a couple seconds, light turns on, and then you come over to your dealy dab, plug her in thingy right here. All right, let me see, is that, what side do you press? Oh, hold that for a couple, oh, forgot. Gotta turn the power on. All right, once the power's on, then you hit this, light comes on, and then you have, let's see, out and in. All right, I gotta take 2 hands to hold that back up to where it was. But now you have the wireless remote. Like I say, you also have the cable. Comes in this nice little package you can throw in your toolbox or put up underneath your seat or somewhere. But it's a nice setup, man. I think I like it. The only thing I don't like is trying to get to the free spool. It is really, I don't even think you can see it. But yeah, I really can't get to the free spool. But so I don't know, that wraps it up. The hidden winch install on a 2005 Chevy Silverado, done and done. Now I'll never get stuck, and I'll never come across someone who was stuck. And as soon as the wind dies, I gotta put my flags back up. So simplify, have a great 2025.